Whew, all right. Biconics wrestling fans, it is an AEW pay-per-view weekend, and we are getting some of our AEW hosts to give their predictions for this upcoming event. The punishment is, we have no idea. The prize is, we have no idea. Really, it's just for you to tell us we're horrible at predicting matches. So, the first one we have is on the pre-show. I believe it's the pre-show, or it's the first one. It is MJF and partner about to be chosen this weekend, probably Samoa Joe, versus the Guns for the ROH World Tag Team Championships.
That's a pre-show? That's not actually going to be on the show?
That's a pre-show match. They got to give Max time to rest up for the main event.
If Samoa Joe joins MJF, I see Samoa Joe flipping on MJF and the Guns getting the win and getting the ROH title.
Interesting.
My dream thing would be for MJF to come out, and then there would be dramatic pause, and then Adam Cole comes out, and they wreck the shit out of the Guns.
I'm actually going to pick the Guns to win this one.
I feel like MJF's going to retain. They've got no direction for these titles, and they need to get him back on ROH, please.
For this one, I'm going to go with MJF and the mystery partner just because that's the way I think they're going to book it. But I would really like to see the Guns win this, and maybe the Guns actually do something with the Ring of Honor tag titles.
I'm going to disagree with you both. I'm going with MJF and partner to be chosen because they're going to continue this weird story of what it is, and the Guns are going to lose because they're going to be setting up adversity for later on in the night. I believe Joe is going to let Max just take enough damage, but he's really protecting his ability to face Max for the belt later on down the line at some point. For the international title, Orange Cassidy, the champion, taking on Jon Moxley. Adolfo, who's winning this one?
For as much as I would like to see Orange Cassidy pull the win out, I think that Mox's loss of the Intercontinental belt was a little too fast. I feel that Mox will pick it up, and then we will start the reign of Jon Moxley as the Intercontinental.
I have Jon Moxley winning this because I think now that he's been cleared and we've had a few matches with him back in, I think AEW is going to have Jon win so we can pick up where we were about to take off when he took the title from Orange at All Out.
I feel like Mox is going to win this one so that he can have a proper run with that international championship, because I know his previous one had got cut short due to injury.
Moxley won last time, so I'm going to predict that Orange Cassidy is going to win this time, and maybe they'll set up a trilogy match between the two of them.
I'm going Jon Moxley because Tony Khan needs to reset the timeline to what it was supposed to be, and he wants to prove that he was booking this timeline. It's what's going to happen. Next up, we have the 4-on-4 match, the legend Sting with Darby Allin and Adam Copeland versus Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and dead dad, lover of all things, Christian Cage there. Who you got, Adolfo?
What I would want to see is Sting, Darby Allin, Adam Copeland get the win, cause a rift between Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and Christian Cage, and then that is the rise of Luchasaurus, you know. Unfortunately, I think that it's going to be a cheap cop-out. Christian Cage gets a cheap-ass pin.
I'm going to go the opposite way. This is Adam Copeland's first pay-per-view appearance for AEW, and I think that you, especially with Sting's retirement on the horizon, you want to make Sting as comfortable as possible leading into his retirement at Revolution in March. With that being said, I think Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland are going to win this match, and I'm going to take it a step further and say that Luchasaurus is going to be the one to get pinned here.
I feel like the good guys are going to win in this one, and Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland are going to win this one.
I think it's going to be Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland picking up the victory here, and I would assume that Nick Wayne is probably going to take the pin on this one.
Yeah.
My pick on this one is, I think you're right, Mikey. Sting, Darby Allin, Adam Copeland take it. Copeland ends up pinning Luchasaurus for the win after Cage accidentally knocks him on the head with something to set up that kind of rift between the two of them. I also see, as a booker afterwards, Luchasaurus attacking Christian Cage and Copeland saving him. Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue for the TBS Championship. Who do you have, Adolfo, in this one?
Two, there must always be a master and apprentice. What I hope would happen is we get some spooky force powers that Julia Hart, holds over Sith Blue, and they become the Sith powerhouse of AEW, and beat Chris Statlander, giving Julia Hart the belt. In reality, I think Chris Statlander is going to she's going to keep the belt.
I'm actually going to pick Julia to win here. And I'm going to say it's because I still think Sky's playing the long game. We think that she's not. I think she already gave in when she got sprayed with the mist, and she and Julia have been playing the long con, because then what I can see at World's End, you have Julia and Sky versus Willow and Chris at some point.
Where Willow turns on them.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I am really hoping that Julia Hart wins this one. She had a great showing. The previous AEW pay-per-view I watched, and I'd like to see her win the title here and win her first real big title.
I'm kind of hoping that what we see is Julia Hart pick up the victory in this. I think she's been doing some really good character building. They haven't done a lot with Chris Statlander since she's become the champion again, and I see this actually being Julia pinning Sky Blue to pick up the victory here and walk away with the title.
I'm going to go the exact opposite, because all of us can't be picking all the same things. I'm going to say Sky Blue wins it. And then becomes that leader of that faction, and Julia Hart, then it's them, the two of them coming together, but not. Our four-way dance here, the ladder match here for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus LFI, Russian Dualistico versus FTR versus the Kings of Blood, the Black Throne, Brody King with the Cast, and Malachi Black. Who have we got in this one?
House of Black always wins, man.
I have to go with the Kings of the Black Throne because, the House of Black always holds all the cards.
This is supposedly wishful thinking here, but I'm really hoping House of Black wins. They're probably one of my favorite tag teams, and I would like to see them get some kind of direction here.
So, not really sure on this one, but my prediction, I'm going to go with the House of Black. I think they've been really building them up to bring them back, and considering that Big Bill and Ricky Starks are not a real, I don't want to say not a real tag team, but they're not an established tag team. I don't think they're going to have that long of a title run.
This will tie into, for me, who will win in the Golden Jets versus the Bucks, because if FTR wins here, that means the Bucks are going through, because we're doing that match again. That's basically what's going to happen. If it's any of the other ones, it's up differently. I'm going to go different than you both, though. I'm going to say FTR Bald and FTR Aggravated Assault are going to get their titles back, and it's going to be going from there. So FTR is going to pull out the win there.
Okay.
Next, we'll go with, why not? We'll go with the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks. Who do you have and why?
I think the Young Bucks are gonna take it. It's either gonna be one of two things. Either there's going to be interference from Don Callis that'll cause the Young Bucks to win, or the Young Bucks join the Don Callis family.
I'm actually going to go with the Young Bucks on this one, and I am echoing what Luis has said in the past about the Bucks. I think the heel Bucks work better, because then it makes me a reason to hate them, because they've kind of lost their shimmer with me. I just want them to win, because I want Kenny Omega as far away from the Chris Jericho black hole as possible.
I feel like Golden Jets are going to win here. Again, Chris Jericho is very good at keeping himself in top storylines, so I don't think he's going to want to suffer a loss on a pay-per-view here. And I'm kind of okay with that. We've seen a lot of the Young Bucks in the tag division lately, and they're very good, but I'd like to see a different direction.
I have a feeling we're going to see the end of the Golden Jets, and I'm kind of hoping that that's the case. See the Young Bucks go on to challenge for the tag team titles.
I'm also picking the Bucks, but I'm picking it because FTR is going to win the titles back in another match. We'll move on from there, though. We've only got a few left here. I'll go with our women's championship match. Hikaru Shida versus Timeless Toni Storm. Who do you have and why?
What do I want to see? I want to see Hikaru Shida pull it out and retain. What do I think is going to happen? That the Outcasts are going to come down, or Saraya is going to come down and do a thing where Toni Storm is about to win, and then she's just gonna, and then she'll cast distraction, and then that'll have Shida win. Is that the type of win I want Shida to get? No, I want her to get a, fair win.
This one's tough for me to call. Like, of all the matches on the card, everything else for me has been a no-brainer. This is the only match I can arguably reason for 50-50. This is the only match I really would be realistically happy either way. I'm going to go with Tony on this one. I think it's Tony's time to get a second reign, which sucks because, again, Hikaru Shida always gets used to be transitional champion. And at least from what I found, she doesn't complain about it. But I think with the work that Tony has been putting in with this new character and everything, I think there's a lot of stronger possibilities to write for the feuds that Tony can have with individuals than with Hikaru.
I think it's time for Timeless to go over and be the face of the women's division for a little while. The crowd loves her. I love her. She's very over. I want to see her move forward with this championship.
I have to go with Toni Storm on this one. Her stuff is too hot right now that I don't see them not putting the title on her. So I think this is a big win for Toni Storm, and hopefully we get to see a lot more of her.
I'm with you, Adolfo, on the fact that Hikaru probably needs a longer reign. I'd love to see her be there for that, and I wouldn't want to see a weird finish for it. I think what they're pushing with Mariah May, though, that before that she can have the fall and the fallout they're going to do with this Mickie James storyline, they have to have her help her in some way. And also the visual of having Luther carry the belt down as the butler every week is something that we want to see. So I think Mariah May is going to help her get the belt over Hikaru. And again, we have another short title reign for Hikaru Shida. Then I'm going to go into right now what is deemed the main event of the night, but it's not the main event of the night. We know that what that's going to be, and that'll come later. This is MJF, the champion, versus Jay White, the holder of the Bang Bang belt, for the AEW World Championship. Who do you think is winning the World Championship here?
This is a tough call. Would I want to see MJF retain? Yes. Would it kind of make the storyline stale? Yes. I'm going to play the long game, and I'm going to say Jay White gets the win.
Interesting.
I actually think MJF is going to end up winning the match, but it's not going to be a clean finish. I think this ends in a DQ because this is where we're going to get the reveal of who's behind the devil mask. And obviously you want to have MJF still be champion because the World's End is in Long Island. So that's near that's Max's home crowd, hometown.
I think this is going to be a really good match. I'm hoping this will be a really good match, but I think MJF's still going to retain here.
I think we see MJF still come out victorious in this because I think we're going to see MJF versus Samoa Joe for the world title before not too long. So, I think MJF is going to come out with this as the victor, although I'm wouldn't be that surprised if Jay White wins.
I think MJF is winning not clean at all, but he is winning this by hook or by crook, and they're going to run back a thing of Jay White needing to finally get the belt for himself and that type of thing, either Revolution or World's End, one of the two. But we're going to move on from that match, which will be the end of the night, to what is going to be the main event. It was the first match announced for this. It is going to take everything out of the room. We have Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland in a Texas death match. Adolfo, who do you have and why?
I think it's Swerve's time. I think he's gonna get the win. I think that there will be shenanigans, but I feel that at the end of the match, Swerve will get a clean pin on Hangman Adam Page.
I'm going to go the opposite of Adolfo. I think Hangman wins this because then we're tied 1-1 because Swerve beat him at Wrestle Dream. Hangman wins here at Full Gear. And then at World's End, where the world is literally coming to an end, according to what the graphic and everything's breaking apart. You have the final match in the trilogy at some crazy stipulation to determine who's the ultimate winner, which, by the way, I think Swerve should be the one who wins this feud in the end of it.
I'm with Mikey on this one. Hangman's taking this one to go 1-1, and they're going to find a crazier stipulation to do at World's End, which, coffin match, I quit match. We don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something huge. Thank you all for being here with us on the AEW Reviewers predictions little video here with us. For Adolfo, for Mikey, for the Professor, for all of the rest of our folks there, thank you so much for joining us here. Remember, as always, you're Biconic, we're Biconic, and we cannot wait for Full Gear. See you at Full Gear.